next speaker is Dr. D.V. Reddy sir, a retired professor NIT, and presently sir is advisor of Center for Climate Change Division and Environment Management Division, Engineering Staff College of India. His session is on climate change and infrastructure. So I hope, I'm sure sir will also maintain the time. So thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
I will just share my thoughts a little bit, and most of them are youngsters, so I can go a little lower way and little technical way. I think you have discussed about all the policy changes, environmental laws, and countries are facing. Let me go for the little technical issues, the infrastructural developments in India. I think you know about our country is developing infrastructure way, even for the civil engineers who build the nation. We are all planning for development of the nation. So infrastructure is, I think, basic definition. You can see that one, and we can have the development of the nation basically depends upon how best we can develop our infrastructure facilities. This is the nation, and there are several projects are coming in the world and related to the infrastructural developments. The infrastructural soft skills are there, but I am going for the technical skills. So particularly in case of the infrastructure developments, development of the nation is very important. Even today, still developing, we are unable to provide the infrastructure to the common man also. Madam already told us about how best we are developing with not reaching to the common man. And we are discussing so many issues, how the common man is receiving, how much we are impacting, how the environment. Still, development we not reach to the, as per we expected requirement. Still we are going for the development in the nation to how best we are cope up, then how best we can sustain the climate issue. These are most or the important features. I think all our students, youngsters are there. Just you can think about what is the definition, basic definition of climate change. The climate change completely depends upon how vast interaction taking place. Many may not knowing about what is the real impact of the climate change is taking place. Just think about what are the changes are taking place, and it depends upon various aspects. You can't imagine how much climate change was past, present and future. And just now I mentioned about the people are telling about, I stayed in NIT Surathkal in a coastal region. Our campus is near to the sea coast. We know about, now people are expecting about how much of the sea rise will take place and how much taken. You know the impact. The earlier the sea is completely almost 70 to 80% land is covered by the ocean already. Ocean is receded back. The very few people knows about. And ocean is now is rising, and we are expected to rise. This is the correct picture. But earlier the ocean and continents had played a lot of things. That is the rise of things. Oceans are there, covered, are retreated back. This is the present conditions. That will lead to the development. I think that is a lead to the how the coal we are getting, Singareni coal deposits. We are getting all energy. Every government claiming about giving the 24 hours current. Why? What for? On the basis of the coal. Coal, how it is formed? Coal is formed by the, particularly about the coal geological formations of taken places, is occupied. That is the reasons. So think about how the past, what is the present, what is the future is taking place. Very things, I think lot of research is ongoing in the world. So this is the particularly climate, and you can see about the rising of sea, economic losses and heat exchanges. This is the more impact natures. And this is the one of the organization, Ministry of Environment and Forest and Climate Change. Everybody knows about this Parivaram Bhavan, and I am also fortunate to have a present 2-3 projects. I think one of the consultants in NITK, we attended these programs and we satisfied the environmental experts. Very difficult. Any project to clearance from the Ministry of Environment and Forest and Climate Change, not so simple. They ask about minute questions. You are in a position to solve all the questions technically, how you are going to sustain this the particular project you are taken place, and how to the benefits. Then only the projects are coming out. Only exceptionally the defense projects and coastal zone projects, which are purview, not purview of the Ministry of Environment, and that can be taken place. So I think all projects we have to take, there is no other way. And particularly in case of the construction industry, I will come to the construction industry. One of the most important areas we are working in the particular in the world, even for India also, still we have to develop. Then the pollution sectors, you can see the construction sector 23% air pollution, drinking water, these are very common, we can know about. Then how it will take place? In reality, now we are coming about a large skyscraper type of the building constructions. You know, everyone knows about this, the Burj, I think in Dubai, and we can also see several times the advertisements of this one using about the skyscrapers and high-rise buildings are coming out. And even for our India also, I think you can see the high-rise buildings or construction environment. You know, let us research with the help of the IIT Bombay and IIT also. We done of the building construction with civil engineering point of students are work. I think some researchers worked out, and latest findings also come out. How these high-rise buildings having the impact on the climate change, and how much is it affecting. This is the latest research. You can see about the high-rise buildings when coming about the high-rise buildings and taking place in Hyderabad also. You can see the My Home project. I think the coming about the several the high-rise buildings coming. What is the problem? High-rise building is one of the, I think everybody, even myself also staying in Upper Nasreen Park, high-rise building, 16th floor. And you can see all types of the floors are coming, and you can see about the rising of the all the high-rise buildings in and surrounding. What is the impact is taking place? Climate change is very micro level impact. You can't imagine how it changes. And that is the one of the important we have to think about. Climate is not completely change what you observe. Your individual parts is going to change very minutely, and you are not going to impact very slowly by yourself. You can see about this is the construction taking place, and the high-rise buildings. What is the impact? The impact taking place is thermal radiation. Even myself also, we stayed 4 years back. From 2 years, we are feeling this something unusual temperature is taking place. So some of the researchers finding about, and the velocity of wind, you can see the velocity wind here on the top. You can see about these are these presses, the wind direction when comes and hit to this the particular high-rise buildings. There are a lot of components, because the components civil structures built, the components inside the also problem. They technically they are proved. You can see the wind on high-rise building, and this is the this is the appreciate yourself. So these are buildings are there with the numerical way, I think displayed the. So the wind is flowing, you can heating to this one, and you can see about the how the impact is taking place. These will be height, dimensions, and width, and materials. And you can see this is one of the best slide you can appreciate here. So the wind direction, this is happening. So we are feeling slight but is very change, but something is unusual, that is called climatic change. And you can demolition, I think recently taken about the large scale of demolition of the buildings. In Hyderabad also, I think the buildings are demolished, that is called controlled blasting. Myself also work with the mining stop in our NIT Surathkal also. We are also involved in about the controlled blasting in a tunnel excavation in Bangalore also, and controlled blasting about some of the tunnels also. Nowadays the building, the technology of the blasting is so advanced, you can entire the building can be collapsed without the impact of the other areas. So this is a technology. Controlled blasting is the most important. Infrastructural engineering students, they can know about the nowadays construction impact and demolition, and the demolition takes lot of impact on the pollution impact also. You can see here large scale the pollution, and you can see the blasting impact is taking place here. So blasting is one technology nowadays. The blasting can be used for a civil engineers also, not only mining engineers. Civil engineers, they can control blasting, can be used about tunnels excavation. We done a lot of tunnels. The tunnel boring machines they can use. We can also use the blasting. So blasting so designed effectively can be possible to drill and blast, and you can excavate. This technology is so advanced. I think please don't expect about, apart from climate change, technology also so advanced. You can also control, numerical control, technical control, artificial intelligence. So many aspects are planning meticulously to do for the development of the nation also. This is also one of the important aspects. Youngsters, you must know about how much of the development of technology taking place. And you can see about the one more impact about seaports or environment. Why the seaports or environment? India is one of the gifted nations in the world. You know about what is our sea coast? Anybody can tell, any student can tell what is the total Indian coastal length, how many kilometers? Approximately 5,000, 6,000, 7,000?
Only Andhra Pradesh is 900 kilometers.
No, total India's 7,650 kilometers of the total east coast and west coast. Coastlines are the one of the most important, the channel ways for economy, shipment, and even today also. The most nations will have the prosperity on the development because of the sea coast. This is one of the impact, and here the development of the sea coast, the impact of the coastal environment. You can see the coast also not only taken place, even the island gas exploration. Nation required about the island gas exploration. The island gas exploration, we are also using on the even oceans. That also affecting on the environmental issues. And particularly in case of the islands of Bombay High, India, even today we are getting about 30% of our the island natural gas producing from the Bombay High. Bombay High is the Bombay, it is around 300 kilometers of the northwest, I think the in a ocean, that is the Bombay High. There we are getting about this island natural gas. Why? Because island natural gas are developed because of the biogeochemical environment of the living organisms dropped the island natural. This is because of the ocean is created for us. You know about Dubai. Dubai is completely now is a desertic area. No, why the desert? Dubai getting island natural? Dubai area is completely covered by the ocean. Now I think that is completely desertic we are seeing, and where the desertic we are getting of island natural gas. Every country, everywhere in the world, we have to depend upon the island natural gas. This is expected to go about 100 years more. That is much after that one. We are not going to get anywhere in the world, including the I think even the USA also taken place. That is the reason why USA country importing large scale of the island natural gas from many countries, and they are depositing in their country by deep excavation. They are storing for that one also. India also store that one for information. It is in the 3-4 such a types of the storage we are done, Vizag and Mangalore, and one is in other place of this one, because of the future what will happen. These are two important aspects. And you can also see about the island gas exploration, Krishna basin. That's also working. That is a large scale impact on the coastal basins. And you can see the, apart from this one, India is a large country, I think no problem. They are worried in the many countries, they are also worried about the development, the climate change, environmental aspects. There is no land for the development, because even today, after the few years, the land which are on the land is not sufficient. We have to go for a ocean. Why? Almost 70 to 80% of our planet Earth is covered with the ocean. If the land is not sufficient, where do we have to go? We have to go on the ocean. Just like how we are going for the ocean to moon exploration, bringing that one. There is no other way. We have to develop infrastructure on a ocean. They already developed. This is the one of the Japan is a small country just like our the Telangana state, and there is no land for them to development. They are using the ocean to develop their country. This is called Osaka airport. I think during our one of the research interaction, I had been to there in Osaka. I think where they landed the ship, I think yes, particular in case of the in ocean, and they developed this is such a way the runway. You can see the all type of the flights operating, and the complete coverage. They made such a environmental. They planned everything, and they are using now. Actually, it is very difficult to make a, for example, civil point of view, to make a runway in a ocean, and actually they one after the development of the geosynthetics they are made. They very difficult for them to they make this one. The shrinkage also taken place. Again that one they put the artificially, and they created the seismicity, earthquake waves more than 7 magnitude. They tested, the structure is built strong, now operating. See that one how much they work they done. So the planning, execution, development must be done on a meticulous and keeping it on the view of the environment. Environment ecology will not be changed as it is. We have to develop as the nation is required. We have to see the impact of the nations. So like that, now oceans are coming very fast way to develop. India also we are going to have about the ocean. We are also planning for ocean basin we are going to construct for the future generation. And near afterwards, once ocean basin are sufficient for us, we have to go for a space. For information, even space also they are going to construct the infrastructure facilities, that is in the planning stage. So how we are going to go now, we have to develop research, what we are going to tomorrow we have to do now, then has to plan and execute. Three things will be different, and this will plans difficulty on the various passages. So this is the construction. I think I will not go for all these things because environmental clearance EIA projects, how we are going to take this is very difficult for us to that one. And as per your level concerned, so building constructions, the A category and B category will be there, the townships and the developmental, and you have to follow the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, the guidelines, and these guidelines to be taken place on the basis of the study of the detailed areas. And myself also involved in our environmental impact townships. That the A category, B category townships are the more category. We have to get the permission from the central grade. We have to give the all the developmental activities, environmental clearance, and you can also see about nowadays we are using GPS system, we are using satellite data using, and even we are using about the drone technology, and we can also find about very clearly about the aspects. This is the state of our I think the cartosat image. Cartosat images are very vital. I think for information, just like our taking about the all important data is available in our Hyderabad itself. National Remote Sensing Servicing Agency is one of the agency from ISRO products. The cartosat images will get very accurately for all developmental projects. We are getting the cartosat imageries, and that will be useful for planning, execution. We can plan for the road network, we can plan for a railway network, we can plan developmental activities, and all images are available. Even for the your images are using for the defense areas, and where you are requirement to get the perfect type of the things are available. The data is available for your research purpose also. The cartosat images are useful. I think some of the students are using the particular areas. So the drone technology we are using, infrastructure developments. So this is the actually the coastal regions. You can see the very strategic point of view. See, this is the coast region. This is the coast here. Earlier this coast was the particular Andhra coast was up to this one. For example, you can see this coast, Tirupati. You can see the Tirupati Pilgrims Temple, Sri Venkateshwar Temple. Earlier, the entire ocean was up to that stage. Now the oceans are receded back. Now this is the present trend. Now global change is rising, and you want to take up. See how the nature taken place. So that is the before about this taken, now present and present taking place because on the various issues. So the one more development, the construction of the roads. The roads construction is very important, very much important for us national development. Even today, if you take into entire the world, I would take the ranking. USA is the one of the country at the almost 70 lakhs of square kilometers area is they built. Next country is the India only. See the geographical dimension of the USA. See the geographical dimension of India. Why here India is only almost 1/3 of the US. Still our roads are in the world second or third. But because our lands we are using, USA large areas lands are not at all used, not touched because they are not required for their public and areas. And even today also still we are not reached to roads. Rural roads are not. We have discussed about our the many of the programs, our engineering college also. The still roads are not reached to the poor levels. Still we are not reached to the up to the level of the common man also. That is the reason why you can see the roads are planning. Bharatmala, I think this is one of the area. This is the coastal zones, and the coastal zones were taking high tide, low tide zones are planning. This particular in case of the when the coastal zones regulations, we should not construct any buildings near to the coast. There are the 2 buildings I think in case of the Cochin, I think they are demolished because they are violated the coastal regulation zones. Coastal regulation zones, they are very critical for CRAZ 1, 2, 3, 4 rules on the basis of the how much of the coastal rising and zone and sea waves. On that basis they are given the permissions and not permission to build the areas. That is I think many parts, even that one also. Earlier it is I think exempted because of the coastal zones. Still they are given amendments like a Bombay. We have to develop I think, and if you go for as per CRZ rules, as per environmental laws, very difficult for the development. So for that is the reason why you can see how best we are taking place, and this is the road. We are going to connect to the new international terminal. I think Bombay, I think when I fortunate to work the 2 years in L&T also. At that time we had worked about this project. I think new Bombay International Airport is coming because of the lot of traffic congestion. Now they want to take about the new terminal, and that new terminal to be connected, and they are planned very well because there is no other way just to go for a ocean, because CRAZ rules are I think they amended for exclusively these areas. So like that environmental some issues will be taken place. Then pace of the green roads are constructions, highways are development. You can see the state wise of the highways, and this is the one of the which is the longest national highway, anybody can tell? It passes through Hyderabad. 7 earlier was, now become the 44. This is the almost starts from the Kanyakumari up to this one. This is the national highway number 44. Even I think it crosses to the particularly Hyderabad, Jedcherla, and I think it will crosses to this is the Bengaluru. This is the highest way, and many national highway projects are constructed, length also constructed, planning the roads are there, and Bharatmala is there, the construction, and you can see the developmental activities here, coastal districts, and this is also one more important, and the government in thinking about develop the coastal zones, because the coastal zones are very vital for environmental issues, economic issues also. They are developing about this coast by use of the coastal roads, and these are the very important the developmental road activities, noise pollution, vehicular pollution, road construction, and this is the expansion. I think it is the Western Ghats, because we stayed at the Western Ghats. I think the CRZ worked on the most on the Eastern Ghats. We worked on the Western Ghats. So Western Ghats is one of the very complicated issues environment. That is because of Western Ghats policy only Kudramukh iron ore stalled, and even for the laying of the Konkan railway, very difficult to lay out. India, I think earlier Konkan rail stopped at only Mangalore. Now Mangalore to Roha connected, Mangalore to I think Delhi connected. Now I think India is connected. So very difficult situation in Konkan railway, because what is the reasons? The construction activity, sea coast, and environmental issues. and the stability of structural stability, rock types, and geological formation difficulties, and the environmental issues. They created a lot of problems, and you can felling of trees. You can see the several trees also felled up here, this area, and the greenhouse areas, particularly in case of these are the impacted most on the environmental. Then green roads are development, even railway projects. You know, railway projects, I think just you break on this one. India is now developing dedicated railway project. The dedicated railway project are working almost to eastern coast and western coast, particularly in case of the two dedicated tracks are coming for only for transport about the materials. Now it is under planning stage, and it is under the execution of some of the areas, and there are a lot of issues also coming out. And you can also the now latest we are using about the construction of the bullet trains, the high speed HRD screens. Now I think high speed trains also coming out to connect with our India, because the earlier trains are there. Now Vande Mataram trains also came. Next generation we are going to high speed generation, 300 to 400 kilometers per hour we can travel. Japan we travel one place to another places is less than 1 hour. There you know that the bullet train cost is more than the flight, because students will give the concession for them to use about this. They can get about how trains will go so fast under the sea. We come out. We are not in a position to know how we are experiencing. This is one of the fascinating way coming. India also planned about go for. That problem is coming about Mumbai to Ahmedabad, the first connecting, but several environmental issues also coming out, and they are solving one by one to come up these areas. The high speed trains, the areas are worked out, the tunnels are excavated. Some of the tunnels also created problems. You can also see about yesterday papers, you can see about how the trappists are workers in a tunnel. What is the reason why? The reason is because they are not studied the stability of the slopes. Sometimes stability of slopes will problems we are not expected. So that stability once failure, the tunnel collapse will take place. That's why we have to go very meticulous surveys and investigation in any development. Anything misuse, that is problem. Even our interpretation also goes wrong sometimes. We have to go so many corrections. Still, it is the problematic for that one. Now, I think the planning, the drilling operation, then they brought out. So, such issues will be comes over the areas. These are the environmental assessment, the energy efficiency areas, even bridges. Bridges construction, one of the most important. Every country requires most of bridges. India is one of the largest areas. We constructed many bridges. This is, I think, a bridge in a Pambam area. I think you know about this is the latest one, and even Durgancharu cable stay. We can technically Durgancharu extra dose is not a cable stay bridge. It's called extra dose technically. The extra dose, and they also constructed some environmental impact also assessment came here. Then particularly the climate change, any infrastructure takes place, the experts are given, so many inputs for us, how best you can develop, how can sustain, what are the impact taken place, how to mitigation, and the development nation is important. We can't restrict for only for this one. We have to develop, we can also conserve, and we can also go for this, because the development takes place, the people can progress. So without development, no problems. So that is one of the climatical issues. So how changes, climate changes, the impact on weather, everybody paper media given about a lot of changes in case of Warangal. This the reason is not only climate change areas, but technically I think our director conducted one program, Madam also conducted about the Hyderabad floods in that one group discussion. The most problem in Hyderabad region, what only problem is, the construction of the roads. Raj Reddy sir is there, I think, the expert in, I think, is submitting thesis on the roads and the payments also. So, topography of the roads, you go see any roads, there is no channel way, water will go back. If any rain comes, water will store. It is not only rainfall, water falls on the topography of the road should move. In USA, I think Dr. Keshwar Reddy is just now spoken about. In USA, I am very wonder about how best they develop the roads. Any rainfall, water will rose and go, that one. Here, any rainfall, water flow, topography are not planned properly. So, roads must be improved to flow the water first, then we will go for a climate change aspect. Climate change impact is there, but problem is even not planned properly to how best we can use the roads and road drainage pattern. Even national highways, OR are also not planned properly. Even coming up the next, because they are not channelized given this year. This will make the problem for in the future. So these are the Hyderabad city problems, bridges, and even the climate change is also impacting on the turbulence of the, for example, flights. Flights, once we go to top of the, I think there will be turbulence. The turbulence are now expecting more rather than the past. That experts of aviation engineers are expect that given about. This is because of the climate change in the areas. Turbulence are increasing, even the throws were using of the travel air. So these are the areas, climate change impacted, and the conclusions as per the madam, just 5 minutes. So these are the construction activity in India has to be taken place. Then we have to study for the environmental impact assessment. We have to study, follow as per environmental impact assessment given by the Ministry of Environment and Forest. We have to follow, and then also we can also develop at the nation and thinking about the how best we can also given. So these are the some of the inputs are given to you, which is specified time, and thankful to madam given 5 minutes extra time for me. So sorry for the inconvenience. We are waiting for the lunch. Thank you very much. Any discussions in the last, I think, during the lunch time, or maybe last panel discussion? Thank you very much.